Hello, Dave Morelli here. Today we're going to be working on the Tang and fitting the Tang to the breech plug. The first thing I want to show you is these are cast parts, and I know I've mentioned that over and over. And if you notice right here along this edge, see all them bumps and stuff? Those are just cast marks, and you can see the rough surface. The first thing that I do is I want to get these bumps. See, those bumps are here also on the face of this. And you can see by some of the shiny marks, I've already worked some of them off of there. And there's still a few. There's one right here, and there's one right here. And there's no sense taking more metal off of this than you have to. I mean, it fits on here, but it's a little wobbly. The idea is to get it fit so you have a nice tight, the crack or the joint is nice and tight all the way around. So I use a medium file, and it's always better to put stuff in the vise. I find that for me, I get a more level cut, and you don't want to make this worse with the file. You want to make it better. So I'm going to continue working down some of those very carefully, some of those high spots. Then I'm going to work them down on this face here, then we'll go from there. Okay, I like to set this more level, but I've canted it a little for the camera purpose. And I'm getting most of these bumps down. And when you're working on them bumps, sometimes the sides, sometimes these things are a little concave from the mold. So sometimes you're gonna have to take some sides down to get the bumps out of the middle. And it's really soft metal, so I don't want to go crazy on it. I just want to take the unnecessary stuff away. And it's starting to really come nice and flat. Okay, so you can see it's starting to come around. A little bit of big gap at the bottom to make the gap tight. I've come to the point where I'm working on this now. I've got my medium file, and this one has a safe edge on it, and I'm using that safe edge towards this hook because I don't want to take anything off of there yet till I have to. So I'm trying to get some of the bumps off the back side of this breech plug. So once the bumps are gone, I get some lamp black, and I'll put it on one piece. And then when I put it on the other, it'll show me where the high spots are. And then that's what we work on. Take the high spots down a little at a time until it fits perfect. Once the bumps are off, then it's harder to find the high spots without see, we got some high spots there. And we start taking them high spots down until everything fits flush together. Okay, now that I'm really getting close, I mean, I got that on there, and now I'm looking at it, and I can barely see any light through the joint. So what I got to start now checking is the bumps on this hook and the bumps inside here. And they will keep it from sitting down flat too. So every once in a while I'll see a mark on here from the black, from the soot, And I'll just take a little off, a little at a time, especially in the top and the bottom of the hook. See, I've got a little bit bumping up here. And those little bumps in the hook, that's got to fit too. And they'll keep it from laying flat. And it's getting really close now. I have a little bit of a crack up here. So, okay, got that on there. That looks pretty good all the way around. Sitting in there pretty good. Very little wiggle. The last thing that I'll do is shape this hook here. Knock the bumps off of that, and that usually gets it right in. So the only thing left on this piece, and I do this afterwards, is this bump here to make the top of the Tang here even with the barrel. I'll do that after it's set in the stock, and that's where it's supposed to be. And then I can do a lot of this right in the stock, except for these side pieces will be a little bit harder. I can take it out and knock them down. Actually, the side pieces I can do right now. I know you guys were in a hurry to get over and work on the stock, but I decided to go ahead and do these flats on the side. Well, I had the vise free here. Reason being, this has got to get fitted into the barrel channel when we do this. If these are too big, then when we do sand them down, they're going to be too small. So I'm going to go ahead and file them down. Right now while I got them, these are just the sides and the bottom. The top I'll do once it's in the stock, because once I fit that, I'll want to pretty much file it down so it matches the stock. And this is another one of them little tedious jobs you do a little at a time. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this up first, and then we'll get to the stock. So, and I usually just finish up those side pieces with just a little bit of 220. So, we want to get our stock pretty solidified. It's a long stock, and we do not want to risk breaking anything or even cracking anything. So we're going to lock her in, and we're going to get our barrel coated down with some of this lamp black. We're concerning ourselves mostly with the bottom flat. I want the bottom flat to be right on the bottom, and the side flats I'd like to make sure they're touching really well. So now you're going to get a little of this on your stock on the outside. Try to avoid it, but I don't know if it's avoidable. But when you work your stock and sand it, this stuff all comes off. So we wipe it down so that it's spread out evenly on the bottom 3 flats. And this is going to tell us what we got to do. So let's get this. Put it relatively close to where it's supposed to be. We'll drop it in there. Okay. And we'll give it a tap. This is where you can see that you want your barrel to fit a little bit loose. Not real loose, but loose enough that when you squeeze it down with that, you don't crack these sides. So let's take her out and see what we got. So we have some problems over here that needs to be trimmed. We have some up in the front, and we got some back here. So I'm going to start working these little sections of wood down so that barrel will sit down, and my goal is to get a little bit of black straight across here so it's sitting flat in the channel. So a couple of tools that I like. This square-edged scraper is really nice for catching these sides, and you can angle it if you have a bump in there. You can angle it so it just takes the bump out and nothing else. And then when I need to take out a little more material, I have this straight edge palm chisel. And when we were sanding it, we were trying to keep this up and down, but the block, when it gets to the edge where the two flats come together, sometimes there's a little bump there. It doesn't quite sand it down, and that's where coming in here with these tools, knock that bump off, and then you put this right in on that edge where the two come together, and you can make a nice clean cut there. So I got a little bit more to do out front here, and then we'll stick the barrel back in and see how we did. Okay, so the barrel's fitting really good. I've dropped it. It's almost ate up this whole flat on the side, so it's dropped quite a bit. In the back here, it's not. But I've gotten it, it's fitting so much better now that, you know, I don't like prying stuff off, but at first sometimes you have to. But it's coming out, and I've got my black spots are starting to land on the bottom flat, the floor. And that's about where I want to take it for now. Because when I go ahead and set and fit this breech plug and put it all together, it's going to change this a little bit, and then we'll do some more barrel work as far as the channel's concerned. But for right now, it's right where I want it. It's touching the bottom in spots, and it's fitting just right, and the edges are good. So that's about where I want her. Okay, so we're about where we want to be at this time with this barrel. Next phase is going to be fitting the breech plug. We'll do that next time. The breech plug to the Tang. Actually, we're going to be fitting the Tang into the stock, and that'll give us another idea where our barrel's going to be, and then we'll continue doing that. And it's time also to start shaping and sanding and polishing the butt plate. So we'll do that next time. Stick with me. We're going to finish this rifle 1 year. Just remember, a little at a time. It's not a machine thing, it's a hand thing. And these things are built one chip at a time. So anyway, I'm Dave Morelli, and I'll see you next time.